Good morning and welcome to another episode of Moms in Real Estate in the Morning. Hi, friend.
Hi.
I'm so excited. I'm like excited and not excited because I was just with you and now I get to see your face again, but I'm not with you anymore.
I know. I wish I lived at your compound with you.
I always look for places when I'm in Arizona, and I was going to be there a little bit longer and spend a week with you, but I had to come back for the funeral and stuff. But I'm excited because that time we got together, we're going to talk about today, which was at the Moms in Real Estate live podcast event. And so today we're going to talk about takeaways and recaps from that event and just kind of touch on events overall. So, okay, like, do you feel like that sigh of relief, like, whew, it's over, it's done? Is that how you're feeling right now?
Yeah, it's always like that. I feel like as an event host, if you guys host events, it's like the leading up to it is so much work. The event is so fun. And it's also like it's almost like when it's over, you're just like, I think I need to go crawl in bed for like a full day and
It's
not talk to
nothing like when you go on
anybody.
vacation. You need a vacation when you go on a vacation, right? It's the same thing.
Totally, you do. But I was looking through like videos and photos this morning of the last week because we had everyone fly in town and got to do a couple different things together and just very grateful for everybody.
Yeah, I think the one that stood out to me the most was Kelly. So I got to spend a lot of time with Kelly out
Love
of the
that.
Pacific Northwest, but she also made a reel that said, a year ago she was thinking about leaving business, and now she was in a room that she could have never dreamt up. And I just think that that's really, I think a lot of us hesitate because of like fear and doubt and ego, and I think we as the industry levels up and there's like more events and bigger events and all the things, it's like that kind of diminishes some of us. Like, well, why even do it if there's all these other things? And I think we underestimate the power that we can make in like one person's experience. And we always are like focused on impacting like 500 people. But my takeaway was like, dang, there was a lot of like individual one person stories that were powerful.
Yeah, and honestly, like you think back to like every event somebody says something like that, and it reminds me of like why it's so important to either create the spaces or to be in the spaces. So it is like, it's really hard being an entrepreneur, and it's really, there's really, really hard times. And if you don't have those round tables or those conversations, those relationships to really like get you through the hard times and or help you be creative in the times where you're like, I have a great idea, and having other people pour into it and making it even better, like you have to have those things.
Yeah, 100%. And I do think that there's another level of depth that is released in relationships. So like you have there's like all these amazing agents in Arizona that I do get to know like virtually, and I talk to them, I see them. But each time I come into Arizona, like it's an actual depth layer to the relationship. And then it's funny because like even Paige out of Sacramento, her and I are super close and we hang out together all the time in Arizona. But that in-person like relationship building, I do feel like there is something that happens in person that can't happen virtually. Would you agree?
I totally agree. I feel like every time I go closer, I go on vacation or to retreats or conferences with girls, like we become like family.
Yeah, 100%. So tell me, what was like your biggest takeaway from the event?
I mean, I think that for me at this event, it was really looking around like, this brand has really been something that's so special to me because it's allowed me to grow a nationwide network of people that I absolutely love. And so I think, again, going back to just like listening to a lot of my business partners, educating and pouring into the women that showed up just made me really, really happy. And so I think a big takeaway was just like even my decision to partner with you. Like you did such a great job. And I feel like watching you pour into the women in an in-person space, because a lot of times we're on Zoom, right? So I think that seeing that, I was like just proud and like happy, just really happy with the people I'm surrounded by.
Yeah. I think that's really good. And I love that. And that makes my heart super happy because I every single day, in fact, your last text to me, I was just like, I couldn't be more blessed to get to be in business with you. But I also think that like, for me, the biggest takeaway was like, it's okay to be vulnerable. Like And not that I'm like dying to relive my thing, but like in real life, sometimes things happen that make us more vulnerable. Like in Zoom, we very much online, we can control our environments, we can control a lot of things. And as you know, like I changed my outfit last minute and I was just like in my head. I have no problem talking, but recently, like the same way you go through stomach issues, I go through like these weird memory issues and like stuttering issues. And so I'm like, am I going to be able to get my words out? Am I going to say them right? All the things. But what was really cool for me, one of the takeaways was like remembering that the power is actually in the vulnerability and not the perfection.
Yeah.
And I think we work so hard, and it's from a good place, right? It's from a place from our heart that we want to deliver perfectionism to people. But even with my clients, like 9 out of 10 of my clients haven't ever said like, I worked with you because you were perfect. I worked with you because of something that was like relatable. Like, one time it was like you slipped and fell in the driveway.
Yeah.
And I thought but in reality, it's like the humanization that they worked with. I don't even know if that's a word, but that was something that was like really powerful for me to remember. It's like nobody's wanting anybody to show up perfect, but they are wanting them to show up real.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I feel like that is one of my top goals whenever I'm creating a space is to make sure people feel safe and can be vulnerable, because I don't ever want anybody coming in and thinking like everyone in here has their shit together, because like we do not. And I will tell you, I've interviewed moms in this business forever and nobody has their shit together. Like everybody's just like trying their hardest. And so it always breaks my heart when someone thinks like, oh my gosh, like I'm not good enough and I don't have this together. Well, I just want to tell you, like no one does,
Yeah. I also think what you have built, and we have it in the Moms in Real Estate community, but also the people that are alongside you, that whatever you create show up are so priceless. Like their hearts are so good and they're there so much for the person. And it's like Mindy and Rachel and just even Courtney, right? Like just the way that your people love people is something. I mean, I've been to huge events, I've been to small events, I've been to probably more, I don't know, every type of event, right? Yeah, I've been to like all the events, and there's very few places where there's like this level of care and genuine care and like a desire to make you feel empowered. And I think that's something else that's really special that I don't even know if you realize, is that there's like this circle of people that are trying to make people feel welcome and like valued. And that is so priceless also.
Yeah, that's like, and going back to like feeling so grateful with like all the people, like Mindy and Rachel and Courtney, those three specifically, like they are so important, like in so many different ways when I'm doing an event. Like I do not know how to do so many things. I'm like, please come help me.
Well, I think that's a really powerful thing too. Like when you're talking about event. So as an agent, whether you're talking about an event, that you're going to hold virtually for buyers or for sellers, or you're going to do things for your clients, like you do not have to do these things alone. And I think that's another thing that we just underestimate is the value in leveraging. One of the things I coach agents on doing is really understanding like where they create opportunities. And I'm not talking about closings, but opportunities. Like who is the lender that's getting the most of your opportunities? Who is the mortgage officer that's getting them? All the things, right? Is mortgage officer a thing? I think it's escrow. But anyways, the reason being is because then you have more confidence that you're delivering value to them, and you can go and say, hey, can you partner with me on this event? Or even better, build it from the ground up. And I think, would you not say that that's like one of the biggest hacks is like not doing the event alone?
Literally, do not do it alone. It's so much work, for one. And two, like two people are better than one. And I'll give you a really great example. I was driving in the neighborhood my kids go to school. It's like literally everybody wants to live in this neighborhood. Okay. And so it's just like perfect. And when you're from Arizona, like you don't have these like really cute houses. We have like brown, ugly houses for like a lot of them. So anyways, this neighborhood's perfect. And I'm driving down the street and I see one of my business partners' signs all over on this one super popular street because all these houses are for sale and he's the listing agent. And I had this such a proud moment. You guys, I've known him since he was a brand new agent. And what I've seen him consistently do in this neighborhood is show up with his loan officer and do food trucks every third Thursday or whatever it is. I don't know exact day. But him and his LO, like they literally partner in that neighborhood to make sure that they have a brand in that neighborhood. And so they put on these awesome different events. And so when I was driving and seeing sign after sign, I was just like, that is like what it's all about. Like you just all of a sudden have this like name in here. And I was just really proud. So yeah. And he can't do that alone. He has 4 kids and, you know, he's got 4 kids, a business, he's got a wife, all these other things. So when you have these chaotic lives, like all of us in the moms in real estate community do, you've got to pull in help.
Yeah, 100%. It's funny when you were talking about the houses, because I was researching. I may have got pulled over after I went to Christino's. And but I mean, not for speeding, even though I was in a Charger, so you would have thought it was for speeding. It was for driving in the bike lane. But that might have been because I was talking to ChatGPT and I was like, okay, I need you to break down all of Arizona's neighborhoods for me. Like, I want to know about Chandler and Gilbert, all the things. Anyways, when you said, like, when you were talking about the neighborhood, it was funny because it was like Gilbert is basically like the Stepford neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And so I was just laughing at like all the different descriptions of the neighborhoods, because I was like, you know, like, tell me this the way that a real estate agent would want to tell me, but couldn't tell me because of like fair housing and all the things. And so it was just hilarious to like get that broken down. So if you haven't done that with areas you're around, you should do that.
Oh, that's funny. I got to hear what they say about this neighborhood.
Yeah, it was very funny, very funny. So again, if you weren't in the room, I think one of the biggest takeaways is like, get in the rooms, right? Get in the rooms, get in the small rooms. I find that all of my deepest connections have been in the small rooms, not the big rooms. Not to say that the big rooms don't deliver great value. I just find that connection is different in the small rooms. Yeah. And then another thing that just as a producing agent was echoed at such a high level from like Rosemary to Kayla to like everybody, right? And one of the things I talked about is the fact that I stay like from changing anything in my business. I don't do anything for 3 quarters. And then in the 4th quarter is when I can like mix it up. And it was a huge reminder for me to even practice what I preach, because disruption is so real. And as much as we love creating like space and growing opportunities and master classes, like you have to be intentional with your time and you have to make sure you're doing the work. And you don't have to, you guys challenged me with a few like really good questions. And one of them was like my favorite systems. And it's funny because I have systems on systems on systems, right? But when I really thought about like those core systems that I need, it's not a huge tech stack. And it just, I like was refreshed and I'm like ready to come home and do more with less. And that's one of the things I told you coming there. And then when I left there, every single woman who has a highly successful business there shared that they run a simple business.
Simple. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They run and we're winning with our calendars. Like we're running 2, 3, 4-day work weeks, right? We're winning at home. And so we're building our lives first and our businesses second, and our businesses fit our lives. And the biggest thing is that we're very intentional on like time to do the work. And so even if you're a brand new agent, you have to have that time to do the work.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I loved that takeaway, because as much as like it's at the forefront of our minds, at least mine, I'm like always like the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid. It is so easy for that chaos to creep into our businesses. Like all of a sudden there's a new thing and a new thing and a new thing and a new thing. Like we all get it. Like we all have so many subscriptions, but like really going back, I think like, I forget who said it. I think Kayla might've said it, where you like do an audit on your business. Yeah. Or if you're spending more time trying to figure out like your CRM and actually using it, like then maybe that's not the CRM for you, you know? So, and even like, I think it was Megan she does 100 deals a year and she uses an Excel spreadsheet, you guys, like.
And just got a TC.
Yeah, I mean, she just got a TC. I'm very proud of her.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like, if it's not working for you, don't feel like because everybody else says it does, that has to work for you. I think it's also like, just like do what works. And the calendar is definitely like, I don't know. I just feel like the message was completely across the board. Keep it simple.
Yeah. And we'll end on this note, like, go back and evaluate your business, evaluate where your closings came from. And if you haven't already identified those top 3 pillars. And something I always talk to agents about is going 5 strategy deep on 3 pillars. And so remember, you want to go deep and not wide. And so it is, even myself right now, we have probably, I just checked the other day, and we probably have 5,000, maybe 4,000 cold leads, because over the years, like, we've tried all the things. We've had Facebook ads, or we've had YLOPO, or we've had this and we've had that. So we have all these leads, and I'd be silly not to like see what we can do with those. And so I'm like low key looking at some tech that maybe we can use to mine those opportunities and bubble stuff to the top. But the difference is, like, as even though some of the companies I'm looking at to do that are freaking fantastic at calling me every 3 days to move me on, like, I'm going, okay, you know what? I'm hearing you, you're here, but my focus is here. My A business is here. This is what I'm going to focus on. And when I have a minute and I have breathing time, and for me in the fourth quarter, when I'm ready to say, okay, this year we're going to actually invest in bringing some of those to life, then I will. Usually what we do is we go over there and we're like, oh, okay, let's start doing this. And then we start doing that. And then we stop doing this, right? So do what's already closing you the deals. Put more time, more effort, and more energy into where the deals are closing.
Yeah, I love that.
Yay. Well, I miss you, and I will be back to Arizona soon. Do we have anything else this week? I don't think we have anything else this week, right?
We don't. I mean, not for
Cinco de Mayo. Are you celebrating Cinco de Mayo?
I hate when a holiday falls on a Monday. Monday for me is like, we're not celebrating anything. I need to get in routine.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll make tacos tonight.
I do have that. Wait, like, do you make authentic tacos, or do you make like ground beef tacos?
No, I make all of them. You'll hate this. I do ground beef tacos with hard shells and ketchup and cheese. And so
ketchup?
I know, you guys. It's like I'm 5. My son loves it. I love it. And I add a little bit of Tabasco. That is like, you guys, that's so bad. But when I do soft tacos, I do a better job.
Well, whatever. I know people that eat ketchup with spaghetti, so I'm not knocking anybody. But my husband is craving, and I don't know if this is PC, I might get us canceled, but he's craving white girl enchiladas. He's like, you have like 50 white girl best friends. You have all these blondes that are your best friends. Which one makes the best enchiladas? I'm like, hey, I don't know, because none of them make enchiladas like your mom. And he's like, I don't want enchiladas like my mom. I want white girl enchiladas. Because he, you know, for him, he wants different than he grew up. Yeah. And so he wants, my cousin makes them, but she's in Ohio, but like she makes them with, like, you know, the can of the sauce, not like the homemade sauce. And yeah, so he's like, which one of your friends makes the best white girl enchiladas? He's like, we'll swap cooking. And I'm like, all right, let me see what I can do.
That's so great. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I love it. Okay, friend. Well, have a wonderful day, and everybody have a happy Cinco de Mayo. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.